What's up, y'all? It's your boy Isaac, and boy, do we have some things to talk about today. So first, let's start off with the fact that Arsenal lost to Liverpool at Anfield in the Carabao Cup, and it was a crazy game, to say the least. Arsenal lost to Liverpool's, I wouldn't even say their B team, probably their C, D, E, F team, and we still couldn't even beat them. You know, it wasn't all bad. I feel like Liverpool started off very well. Liverpool started off quite strongly, if I was being honest, and I think, seeing that we conceded in the first 10 minutes and to see that we came back not long after, I feel like that was, it gave me hope. I feel like, wow, are we actually going to come back into the game? I don't know, we'll have to see. And then we went 2-1 and I was like, the game was just a roller coaster of emotions. It was a crazy game. I think it was a very entertaining watch. For the neutral, obviously, but not if you were an Arsenal or Liverpool fan, because it was extremely stressful. I think that both sides fielded a lot of young players, and I think that this was a good, experience for both sets of players. So, yeah, I think that overall it was a very crazy game. We could have won, but we couldn't keep on to our lead in the end, and I think that's just sums up our entire season. We are so good going forward, but at the back we're just so unreliable, and it shows. Ozil finally started the game yesterday. Finally, Emery has conceded defeat and decided to start Ozil, and so that was very nice for us to see. In his last 3 starts, Arsenal have scored 11 goals. So Emery, come on, man, it's not rocket science. Just play your best players, don't leave them on the bench. Obviously, we can see Ozil ran the game. He controlled so much of what was going on, and then what does Unai Emery do? Takes him out in the 65th minute. I have no idea why. It just didn't make any sense. I don't think anybody could make sense out of it. There were reports to say that there was this already pre-arranged thing that they were going to take him out in the game, but I don't know. I just felt like it didn't make any sense. We were already, it was, I think if I'm not wrong, we were like drawing at the time. There was a game to be won. We needed to score a goal, and what do? We take off our best player on the entire pitch. I don't know, it didn't make sense to me. But to be fair, Guendouzi came on for Ozil. He did provide an assist for Willock's outstanding goal, but still, yes, Guendouzi may have provided the assist, but Ozil's role in the game was so important. He was controlling the pace, controlling the tempo of the entire game. He was so composed, especially in the final third. We just lost that when he came off the pitch. And, I feel like maybe if he had stayed on, maybe things would have been different. I'm not very sure. We'll never know. But it is what it is. Obviously, there were some positives like Martinelli scoring again. He has officially 7 goals in 7 games. This is only his 4th start. This kid is generational. I feel like he's going to be such a big player for us in the years to come. We had a very good chance to finally win there after what's been a very long time, but we didn't. But we move on. So now we're going to be talking about what obviously has been going on for some time now. The whole thing that's been going on at Arsenal, so much drama, and it has all stemmed from what happened at the Crystal Palace game with Granit Xhaka. Everybody's asking the question, who was wrong? Was it Xhaka? Was it the fans? Was it Emery? Is it the board? So let's just break it down and see what went down. So Granit Xhaka obviously started the game for us, as he always does. He was not having a bad game. Granit Xhaka, I feel he was actually playing quite okay in the game, doing his usual spraying passes here and there. And he came off for Bukayo Saka. And when his name was read out for the entire stadium to hear for the substitution, there were jeers from the fans. Personally, I feel like that was wrong. You shouldn't be booing your players off. And even if he had performed badly, which he didn't, I still don't think that's a good reason to. But then again, you see, I feel like fans have their right to express their disgruntlement, obviously. But if you don't do it in the right way, then what's the point? You shouldn't abuse your players. You're supposed to motivate them to do better, constructive criticism, not boo them off the pitch. But you see, there's also the standpoint as if to say that I can understand why the fans were upset, because obviously we threw a 2-0 lead away. And Xhaka has always been a scapegoat for a lot of what's happened in the past. He is also a very large contributor to the number of errors we have let to go. So I can understand why the fans are mad, why they felt like they should have booed him. So I get that point of view. So that's for the fans, right? As for Granit Xhaka, I feel like he probably should have not walked off the pitch when his name was announced. There was a game to be won. We were still at 2-2, obviously. And he was walking off the pitch, taking his time. Nobody really wants to see that. You're supposed to hurry off the pitch so the next player can come on and make the difference. But he was taking his time. So obviously what he did afterwards was just so wrong. The whole cupping your hands to your ears thing, sarcastically encouraging the crowd to continue booing. I feel like there were so many things wrong with that. And it's especially worse when you consider that this guy is the captain of our football club, and it's not a good image for him and for the rest of the club. It doesn't look good on anybody. I think in the heat of the moment, he just decided that was how he should have reacted, and that's exactly what he did. It blows my mind because yes, you have a right to be unhappy with how the fans have been treating you. I completely understand that. I feel like fans have a way of, being just a bit over the top sometimes. But you are a professional footballer. You get paid thousands of pounds a week. You should know that when you're a footballer, criticism is going to come your way. And even if in this case it wasn't rightly so, because he did not deserve to be booed off, because like I said, he did not even have a bad game. He should have reacted better. He shouldn't have done that whole thing. And it just didn't look good for anyone. Not only did he walk off the pitch, he, threw off the captain's armband onto the floor. He went straight into the tunnel after taking his shirt off. And it's just crazy, these are not the kind of things that you want to see in a captain. Tony Adams wouldn't have done that. Patrick Vieira wouldn't have done that. I don't know, I just feel like it was just such a negative thing to do. At the same time, I can understand, like I said, I can understand why he did so, because he's always the scapegoat for why we lose. Players like him, Mustafi, even Ozil sometimes, they are always the ones to blame for when we lose. He still hasn't apologized for what he's done. The reports say that he's devastated and sad about what's happened, but hopefully this gets resolved soon, and hopefully he will come good for us again. I don't know if he should be captain for us anymore, but that's a decision for Emery to make, so we're gonna have to see. So the next thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys is VAR, Video Assistant Referee. So VAR was only implemented into the Premier League this season, right? And it's been about 10 games in, and we can see that VAR obviously has its faults. It's not consistent. It's so annoying sometimes, especially for myself as an Arsenal fan during that day where we were winning 3-2 against Crystal Palace, and the goal got ruled out. I'm pretty sure that everybody's team has had a goal ruled out at least once. It's so frustrating. But VAR was implemented so that it would be more fair, so that there won't be any more mistakes in refereeing. But as it turns out, it's not been that case at all. I feel like when VAR was first brought up, personally, I loved the idea because I felt like, okay, now it's going to be fair. Nobody's going to get away with a dive. Nobody's going to get away with a foul that should deserve more than a yellow card. I feel like VAR is a good thing, but it needs to be more consistent. So how the Premier League implements the VAR is the on-pitch referee will take instructions from a studio elsewhere, right? They'll give a decision to help the on-pitch referee decide, is it going to be a red card? Is it a pen? And that's how they do it in the Premier League. But if you look at other leagues like Serie A in Italy and Ligue 1 in France, what they do is they have a screen on the side of the pitch where the on-pitch referee can go and look at it himself to make a judgment for himself after watching the replay of the incident. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, why don't they do that in England? Because as far as I know, at least, the Premier League referees just hear the instructions from somebody elsewhere. They don't get to watch what happened again. And I feel like if they did get the opportunity to, they would be able to make much clearer and informed decisions. If they get to rewatch it over again, they'll know, okay, I have instructions from elsewhere, but I'm going to look at it myself as well, and I'm going to make a decision. This whole implementation of VAR might take a while for us to get used to. It's only been not even one season in. There's still many games to go. So VAR is something that divides opinion. We all know this. Personally, like I said, I like the idea of VAR because the whole idea of it was to make things fair. But if it's not going to be consistent, then there's no point of it at all. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss VAR for a while. I just wanted to get you guys' opinions on it. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? And yeah, man, let's just see how VAR treats the rest of our teams for the rest of the season. So now on to the last topic. I wanted to talk about Jose Mourinho. So the reason why I wanted to talk about Mourinho is because there have been a lot of reports as of maybe the past month or two that Jose Mourinho is looking to make a return to the Premier League. And we've heard rumors that he wants to go to Spurs, he wants to go to Arsenal. I feel like I can't rule out the possibility of him coming back. I feel like that's something he would do. Whether he would do it at Arsenal, I have no idea. Before anybody reacts like, no way, I do not want Mourinho at Arsenal, I don't want him anywhere near my team, let me explain why I feel like Mourinho would not be so bad after all. So obviously there's this argument to say that Mourinho plays boring football, that he's a park the bus merchant. But honestly, let's look at the facts. So in Mourinho's entire managerial career, he has won 25 trophies. He's managed at Porto, Inter, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and obviously Man United. Everywhere that he's gone, this man has won trophies. This guy just knows how to do it. Everywhere that he's gone, he has achieved the objectives that he set for the season. Like if he says, okay, this season I'm gonna win the league, I'm gonna win a trophy, he does. I feel like there's this argument to say, but he plays boring football. This is what I think, okay? I feel like if you play boring football, but you can achieve your objectives, then honestly, go ahead. But if you play boring football and you don't achieve your objectives, then you have to go. You're not the guy for us. I'm not saying Mourinho should come to Arsenal, because personally I feel like Mourinho would not be a long-term option for us. I feel like if anything, if he comes to Arsenal, it will be a short-term thing. He's not exactly the kind of manager that's made for a rebuild of a club, and that's what we're trying to do right now. And I don't think that he would be the guy for us. But like I said, I don't think people should underestimate what Mourinho has done, because, as much as people have given him a lot of criticism for how he plays his football, he does win trophies and he does get the job done. So I just want to talk about Mourinho a bit, and I feel like, if he does come back to the Premier League, I feel like he will probably do better than how we think. Because here's the thing, some people say that they wouldn't want Mourinho over Emery. If I'm being honest, I would take Mickey Mouse over Emery right now. So I'm open to change. Right now, I would say I feel like Emery should leave. If not now, at the end of the season. Look at how he's done for us. He's not going to be the one that brings us forward. And I hope that the board realizes that soon. Because, like I said, there will be options out there and we're going to have to see. So now what we're gonna do, and what I'm actually gonna be doing for the rest of my videos, is we're gonna do a preview of some of the games during the weekend. So let's see what we got. So first up, we have obviously Arsenal versus Wolves. We drew with them 1-1 last season. I think we should have lost that game. We were very lucky to come back. We obviously know how well Wolves do against big six sides. They obviously beat Man City this season away at the Etihad, so that was an incredible result. I don't think anybody expected that. But it is fair to say that Wolves have not been doing that great this season, or at least as well as they have done last season. Arsenal have quite a good record at home, we all know this. But Arsenal being Arsenal, like I said, there's never really any certainty in the way that we play. We could lose to the team at the bottom of the table and beat, the team that's fourth the next week. Arsenal versus Wolves at home, I'll think, I'm gonna back my team. I feel like we'll just win 2-1. Yeah, I think we're gonna win this one 2-1. I think Emery needs a win right now. The next game we're gonna be looking at is Watford versus Chelsea. I feel like Watford at home, maybe they have a chance against Chelsea, I don't know. But the thing is, Chelsea have been doing really well, and they have actually been playing very well away as well. They're blitzing teams away. This is quite a tough one, but I feel like Chelsea will win this 3-1, and I think they're going to be winning quite comfortably. So I'm going to go with 3-1 to Chelsea. And the last game we're going to be looking at is Everton versus Spurs. Everton playing at home. I feel like this Everton team has potential to do well. Obviously our boy Iwobi went there, Walcott's there now too. They have players like Sigurdsson who's so good at set pieces. Bernard even, who's been really good for them ever since he signed. I feel like on paper, Everton probably have a really good squad, but it's just their manager, Marco Silva, who hasn't really been doing the job for them. They might have a chance, I'm not sure, because they've been so poor recently. But Spurs, I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to win away as well. Everton are quite vulnerable at the moment. I think Spurs could use a good, solid win as well. I think they need it, considering the fact that, everybody seemed to be unconvinced by how they've been performing this season. I feel like both teams, they could use a win. But I feel like, honestly, I think this might be a draw. I'm going to go with 2-2. So there you have it. That's what I wanted to discuss today. And that is my match day preview and prediction. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for your good response in the first one. It was so nice to see, and I'm very happy that you guys are enjoying this. There's a lot more coming up, so stay tuned and I will see you guys soon. Peace!